As a fan of Frank Herbert's novel, Dune Part 1 is one of my favorite movies of all time for how well it translates the text onto screen. But does Dune Part 2 live up to what that film is going after? Everyone, welcome to Cinema, where we focus on the film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema, and today we are talking about Dune Part 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Let me know down in the comments below if you enjoyed it, or does it just not fit for you? Was it too confusing, too much on screen that isn't part of your taste? Because we're all here to talk about our own opinions, our own respective takes, no matter what. And so let's make sure to like this video and subscribe if you enjoy it and enjoy this channel, so you can help join and build up this film community all together. So just starting out with a positive, I do enjoy this film. It does translate well from text to the screen. There's a few choice decisions that are slightly different, or I personally have not remembered as personally, as I only just last read the book a few years ago. But I do really enjoy how they bring in new cast members, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Christopher Walken, and their performances on screen are undeniably fantastic for what they do. They're not some of the greatest of all times, but for what this film asks from them, they're that much greater than I personally would have expected. And some of the returning cast members, Timothée Chalamet, Josh Brolin, Zendaya, and so much more, just bring out that much more, because the film asks for a bit more attention, a bit more shouting, and everything that goes on with the war that is more involved with the second half of the book and the movie in general. How that build up from Dune Part 1 builds up to everything that this film's asked it to be. Timothée Chalamet playing Paul Atreides, who is still dealing with the consequences and wondering if he is the true Muad'Dib and the true chosen one, is in a sense to lead the Fremen into this war, to free Arrakis from everything that is going through as they fight Baron Harkonnen and the Emperor and everything else that is going on. There is a lot of training, there is a lot of build-up, even with this movie alone, but there is more action that it drives this film forward. And even though Dune Part 1 is slower, I still appreciate the film for what that is, because it provides the perfect build-up for what this film is asking for. And while there's still a lot of drama in the build-up and learning the ways of the Fremen, sand riding and the riding on the worms, and just learning the ways of the Fremen, their culture, their language, the integration of culture is surprisingly fascinating. The costumes are so well done, and it's something that I can easily imagine being brought from the text onto screen, and the way it translates that shows that it is a passion project from Denis Villeneuve since whenever he first read it when he was a young boy. And just the way that translates on screen, the visuals are absolutely stunning. The cinematography, the VFX, however they bring out different things, is so well executed, so perfect. And there may be a few minor issues along the way, just with screen contrivances of how someone gets different places, but in just the way they go about this, it takes its time, and yet it's also a quicker paced film than the previous one, which doesn't necessarily have any bearings on what makes this a better film personally, but still it builds up on the colors, and how that translates on screens makes it a more interesting cinematic experience. Having some experiences with Austin Butler's character Fide Rutkin, and having those sequences be in black and white due to his characters and the choice colors, how they do that, and then also the oranges and of the sand, and how they integrate something that could look so boring because it's monotone, and yet adding the natural visuals of the sky, of other certain sequences, the choice clothing, makes it something that subverts your expectation from something that could look so bad, but looks so good because of how much work has been put into it and how they bleed the text onto the screen, integrating certain dialogue that is so iconic for this, and it builds up so much tension, builds up different viewpoints of the characters, questioning Paul as the Muad'Dib, if he truly is a chosen one that's used to help it, and the inner struggle that Paul Atreides has himself is something that really drives and hones the craft of something that really is timeless to this age, has been used a few times since, but due to this modern interpretation of the story, it is just so stellar what Denis Villeneuve has been able to pull off, and the whole set of cast and all the producers, the set designers, the cinematographers, and not to mention Hans Zimmer's score is once again another big winner for this film, just driving home certain things that don't need to be so high in its tension, and yet delivers because the beautiful music that is so fantastic and really elevates certain sequences, even if it's something simple, that it really makes it almost not even silly because of how high tension it is, but really gets you integrated into the characters' lives, into the culture of the Fremen, of what they're doing with their Harkonnens, and integrating the Princess Irulan as well as Fade and the Emperor, how they integrate those cultures and those people, and what they do to make this story so much better, makes this so fantastic, a great and follow-up to the first part that makes me so much excited for what Denis Villeneuve may be bringing next into the first adaptation of Dune Messiah, that is just so stellar for this film, that it delivers on something that I had high anticipation for, and it pretty much matched it, if not exceeded it, just a little bit more, because I was already way up here in my excitement level for it. And so that's just why I have to rate Dune Part 2 a 10 out of 10. There's barely any flaws, and for me personally, the subjectivity is something that I love for what this film not only does for the narrative it is telling, but for a cinematic experience as a whole that makes me want to watch it again and again, and a great integration and double feature with Dune Part 1. So that's just my review on Dune Part 2. Let me know down in the comments below if you have seen it, what you think of it, and if this review is encouraging you to see it again or see it for the first time in general. I'd love to know all your thoughts. Even if you didn't like it, let me know why, and everything that all goes along with our personal opinions on cinema. So that's just all. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers here on this channel. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.